LisaRaye thought calling Judy a clown on camera was just another harmless interview moment, until Brat finally exploded, exposing what she sees as a complete obsession with her marriage. From their explosive confrontation on Cocktails with Queens to repeated podcast appearances, LisaRaye's fixation on Brat's personal life has been playing out publicly for months. But the second she targeted Judy directly, Brat reached her absolute breaking point, publicly shutting down her own sister to defend her wife and her household. From live broadcast clashes to hard boundaries set in front of millions on Brat Loves Judy, this is the exact sequence of events that pushed Brat to her limit, and the cold, hard facts of what happens when family loyalty collides with marriage. The line between sisterhood and disrespect didn't blur overnight. To understand why Brat's reaction to the clown remark was so immediate and unforgiving, you have to look at the pattern that was established long before that single interview aired. For months, LisaRaye's comments about Brat's relationship weren't just passing thoughts. They were becoming a recurring theme in almost every public appearance she made. The turning point happened live on Cocktails with Queens, when LisaRaye was surprised on air for her birthday with a video call from Brat. Instead of a celebration, viewers watched a tense, uncomfortable exchange unfold in real time. LisaRaye openly voiced her frustration about learning major life updates through social media rather than direct phone calls. That single broadcast transformed what was a quiet family adjustment into a permanent, searchable public event. Following that broadcast, the dynamic shifted from emotional distance to active media commentary. LisaRaye began using subsequent podcast appearances and press junkets to critique how Brat's life was being managed. The commentary wasn't just about sisterly love anymore. It expanded into public observations regarding Judy's influence over Brat's personal decisions, brand, and career choices. For Judy, this created a unique corporate and personal dilemma. As the CEO of Kaleidoscope Hair Products, her public image is directly tied to a multi-million-dollar empire. Having her character constantly framed in interview soundbites as a wedge between two iconic sisters was no longer just family drama. It was actively affecting her professional standing. Brat's initial strategy was silence and control through television production. On their WeTV reality series, Brat Loves Judy, cameras captured Brat actively trying to mediate between her sister and her wife. The show documented real conversations where Brat explicitly asked for peace, attempting to establish clear boundaries without severing ties with LisaRaye. However, the strategy collapsed when the commentary left the realm of private family dynamics and crossed into direct personal insults. During an interview segment, LisaRaye's characterization of Judy shifted from expressing hurt to using the word clown. That specific phrasing stripped away any remaining pretense of a simple sisterly misunderstanding. The direct consequence was immediate, a complete shutdown of communication. Brat stopped trying to mediate on camera or off camera. The boundary was no longer open for negotiation on a reality TV episode. It was enforced as an absolute legal and personal wall around her household. This escalation forced the public to evaluate a specific reality about high-profile marriages. When an external family member refuses to respect the boundaries of a marital unit, the spouse isn't just defending a title, they're defending their daily peace. By making her stance absolute, Brat proved that no history, bloodline, or legacy supersedes the security of the home she built with Judy. The clown remark wasn't just a harsh word. It was the final catalyst that converted years of passive-aggressive media quotes into a permanent, documented freeze. The moment LisaRaye publicly used the word clown to describe Judy, the entire dynamic ceased to be a private family matter and transformed into an explosive, highly publicized standoff. Up until that specific interview clip went viral, the general public viewed the tension between the two sisters as a typical, albeit uncomfortable, adjustment period. Viewers assumed it was simply a matter of two high-profile sisters navigating adulthood, busy schedules, and geographic distance. However, targeting Judy directly with a harsh personal label crossed a clear line. It instantly shifted the narrative from a sisterly misunderstanding into a direct, targeted attack on Brat's nuclear household. To fully grasp the magnitude of this moment, it is essential to look at the specific high-stakes timing of when these public comments surfaced. At the exact time LisaRaye's interview quotes were dominating headline news and commentary platforms, Brat and Judy were actively navigating some of the most critical, high-stress milestones of their personal lives. They were publicly documenting their journey through IVF, preparing for the arrival of their son, true legend, and simultaneously overseeing multi-million-dollar corporate ventures tied to Judy's brand, Kaleidoscope Hair Products. Instead of being able to focus their energy entirely on these life-changing events in peace, their public notifications and press runs were continuously hijacked by media outlets asking for responses to LisaRaye's latest statements. The immediate fallout behind the scenes was not a loud, chaotic internet battle, but rather a cold, calculated restructuring of personal and professional boundaries. Judy, as an established CEO and businesswoman, recognized the reputational dynamics at play. Engaging in a back-and-forth public mudslinging match on social media would only dilute her corporate image and fuel further media circus around her household. However, remaining entirely silent while being publicly labeled a clown on camera was equally impossible. The response came in the form of absolute unity. In every subsequent public appearance, red carpet walk, and media feature, Brat and Judy appeared side by side, projecting a completely united front that made one thing unmistakably clear: LisaRaye's comments had not driven a wedge between the married couple, but had instead completely locked LisaRaye on the outside of their inner circle. This unified stance marked a profound, unprecedented shift in the sisters' long-standing power dynamic. For decades, LisaRaye held a revered, protective role as the older sister in Brat's life. She was accustomed to being a primary confidant, a central figure during major life decisions, and someone whose opinion carried immense weight. But when Brat aligned herself 100% with her wife, offering zero public excuses or neutral statements to soften the blow for her sister, the balance was permanently altered. It signaled that blood ties no longer granted automatic immunity when it came to disrespecting marital boundaries. Media outlets and entertainment interviewers quickly picked up on this severe rift. During press junkets intended to promote separate projects, journalists consistently pushed for updates on the state of the sisterhood. When pressed about the clown comment, Brat's demeanor was noticeably distinct from her usual cheerful, high-energy persona. She delivered a firm, uncompromising message. Her wife was non-negotiable. She made it explicitly clear that anyone who publicizes disrespect toward Judy surrenders their access to her life, regardless of their family title or shared history. This absolute stance triggered a massive divide across digital platforms and pop culture commentators. The audience immediately fractured into two distinct camps. One side argued fiercely in defense of Brat, stating that marital vows demand absolute protection of one's spouse above all else, and that setting firm boundaries against toxic commentary, even from immediate family, is a necessary act of self-respect. The opposing side countered that publicly distancing oneself from a blood sister over a media quote was an overreaction, maintaining that long-standing family bonds should be resilient enough to survive heated words without resulting in total exile. The real-world consequences of this public divide became undeniable as major family milestones played out on national screens. Historically, significant celebrations in the sisters' lives were shared publicly and privately. However, during the high-profile baby shower and subsequent birth of Brat and Judy's son, true legend, sharp-eyed fans and media outlets immediately highlighted a stark reality. LisaRaye was noticeably absent from the core celebratory gatherings. Her absence confirmed to the world that this was no longer just an exchange of words and online soundbites. It had manifested as physical separation during the most defining moments of Brat's life. When journalists directly confronted LisaRaye on red carpets regarding her absence from these monumental family events, her responses only solidified the distance. Rather than walking back her previous statements or attempting to smooth over the public optics, LisaRaye maintained her position. She expressed that while her love for her sister was permanent, she refused to fake a dynamic for public relations or walk on eggshells regarding her honest opinions. This persistent tension became a central emotional core on WeTV's reality series, Brat Loves Judy. Camera crews captured the immense psychological toll on Brat as she attempted to navigate the joys of newfound motherhood and executive responsibilities, all while coming to terms with the fact that her sister was no longer part of her daily life. Episodes documented raw, unfiltered discussions between Brat and her tight-knit team regarding the absolute necessity of maintaining a strict perimeter around her home to protect her family's peace during a high-risk pregnancy. As full-length interview footage replaced short, edited social media clips, the reality became indisputable. Neither party was willing to compromise their stance. LisaRaye stood firmly on her right to express herself freely as an older sibling, while Brat stood unwavering on her zero-tolerance policy regarding respect for her wife. The distance between them was no longer a temporary cooling-off period. It had become an established, operational reality. Public appearances were scheduled independently. Press runs explicitly avoided joint questions, and both individuals built clear, separate paths moving forward. The confrontation over a single word had officially escalated from a heated, sisterly argument into a permanent, structural shift in their family hierarchy. Following the birth of Brat and Judy's son, true legend, media focus immediately shifted to whether the milestone would bring the sisters back together. However, press runs during this period showed a clear operational distance. When directly asked during broadcast interviews about her sister's involvement with the baby, Brat spoke directly about her household's boundaries, stating that her focus was strictly on her wife, her new child, and protecting the peace of her home. Rather than addressing rumors, Brat's public statements maintained a singular theme. Any public disrespect toward her wife meant a loss of access to her immediate family. As full broadcast clips circulated across platforms like YouTube and television networks, public discussion around the conflict began to evolve. Initially, a large portion of viewers questioned Brat's decision to distance herself from her sister over media quotes. However, as viewers re-examined the timeline, from the initial tension during the Cocktails with Queen's broadcast to the direct clown remark, online commentary began shifting. More viewers began framing Brat's actions not as an abandonment of family, but as a deliberate effort to establish hard boundaries to protect her marriage. The defining moment of the post-fallout period came when LisaRaye directly addressed the status of their relationship during a recorded media appearance. When asked whether the sisterly dynamic could return to how it was in the past, LisaRaye publicly addressed the distance between them. She acknowledged that while her love for Brat remained, the dynamic had altered significantly, stating that she had to respect the boundaries that were put in place, and that both were currently moving forward in different spaces. This statement provided the public with direct confirmation from LisaRaye herself that the shift was no longer just an active argument, but an accepted operational reality. Rather than attempting to push past those boundaries on camera, LisaRaye acknowledged that the dynamic had evolved into a completely separate structure. In the period following these statements, both Brat and LisaRaye continued their respective public endeavors independently. On Brat Loves Judy, viewers saw Brat fully dedicate her energy to her growing family and her joint ventures with Judy, including their brand expansion with Kaleidoscope hair products. Meanwhile, LisaRaye continued her media commentary work and public appearances without further addressing the household dynamics of her sister. The aftermath of the clown remark did not end in a televised confrontation or a public reconciliation scene. Instead, it resulted in a documented, functional separation where both parties established independent paths, bringing a quiet closure to one of the most publicly discussed conflicts in recent hip-hop media history. When you trace the documented timeline, the rift between Brat and LisaRaye highlights a fundamental tension between long-standing sisterhood and marital boundaries. Brat's public position has remained clear. Protecting her household and defending her wife, Judy, takes total priority. At the same time, LisaRaye's statements reflect a sister who felt publicly excluded as new boundaries were established. As it stands, those boundaries now appear firmly in place, with both operating in completely separate personal and professional spaces. But this situation raises a sharp, relatable question for anyone navigating modern family dynamics. When you build a life with a spouse, does your loyalty belong 100% to your marriage, even if it means enforcing a strict public boundary against your own blood sister? Or should sisterhood withstand sharp words without creating a permanent divide? Drop your honest perspective in the comments below. Was Brat entirely justified in taking a firm stand for Judy, or is there a better way to handle family friction behind closed doors? Let's get the discussion going. If you appreciate grounded, fact-based breakdowns of major culture and celebrity moments without the fake hype, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next drop. While the current distance appears settled for now, family dynamics involving this much history rarely stay static forever. And with family ties this complicated, the story may not be as finished as it looks.